First, the Spiderweb is one of the. It's part of the curriculum that was designed many years ago. It's one way to kind of fast track students into understanding the concept of social determinants. Everybody has a copy of the story. Now you can look at it.
We've been here for a whole month, so most of us were just thinking, we are just so tired, we wish we'd finished yesterday. And then we started, and somehow we all got completely engaged.
She stopped schooling after her second grade. Her parents were poor, and the school was 3 kilometers away from the village. Her father believed that educating a girl was like watering the neighbor's garden. When she was 12, Miriam was circumcised, as was the custom in her tribe.
We tell a story, you use a realistic kind of story that raises different issues that would make the students, look at a bigger picture of the person that you are dealing with. So that's where Miriam's story coming from.
Her life with her husband was a long saga of violence. Miriam struggled to keep her body and soul together through her several pregnancies and raising her children. She had to farm her small plot of land to feed her children because her husband never gave her enough money.
I would like to invite you all to come and create a circle around here, around me. Do you know somebody who's like Miriam in your country? After the story is discussed, you have to check whether people think Miriam exists in their communities, because you want them to really take the case study seriously. Anyone who was walking to school, how far was your school? 6 kilometers.
Walking.
One way.
Did you walk?
Okay.
5
5 kilometers. One way every day. Yeah. So 10 kilometers in total. Okay. Then we start with but why question. So you follow the story and then you take a part and say, but why would Miriam stop schooling?
Poverty is related to economic.
Yes, explain why is it an economic factor?
Socioeconomic status in terms of how much money you have, how much access you have to.
Okay, let's look at the group. Are you agreeing?
Yes.
Okay, you go over there. Thank you. Take the thing with you.
Can I ask why it wouldn't be political?
When the group agrees that someone's answer is feasible, they are tied into the web.
So it could be a socio-cultural, a gender, sex, depending on the reasons. So this is where the story is beginning to make people see how one person or one condition that you're dealing with is affected by many different factors. We've done with poverty now.
Yes.
What could be another reason that could have made us stop schooling?
Excuse me. Yeah.
Okay, many hands. Okay, I will go for you. Sorry.
I'll go for social cultural factors, because the father didn't believe that it was worthwhile educating a girl child.
Okay. Agree. Yes. Okay, any other factor beyond gender on the beating and the kicking?
Social culture.
Explain how.
Yeah, so I was telling you that in my society, even women themselves, if you don't ever touch them, they will feel like you don't care about them.
But beating and touching is very different.
It's a belief.
It's a belief that. Okay.
That you need to love.
Let's hear women. We have women in the group, luckily. Women, tell us, do you like your men to kick you?
No.
In most cases, health professionals deal with individuals that are there in front of them without understanding all the kind of different factors that could have contributed in the conditions that they're dealing with in the person that is there.
So it was rather exciting to see how the different factors actually ultimately feed into one thing. Yeah, so it gives you like an ego's view over circumstances, and then you put them together to get one solution or outcome.
So after that, then it follows by like, okay, let's think of solutions. Where would you solve this position? And you make people think of different roles. If you are a nurse, because we want it to be more real And then when they come with solutions, we try and guide them not to be theoretical about solutions, but like real, UINS. You know, what are the realities there? Okay, let's just say you were an activist in this community. What would you do to help Miriam?
Also to like have more perpetrator accountability, which I think is part of the problem.
So it is kind of like, bigger problem. So you go and put programs in place. Okay. Now you solve the problem, you reported, cut yourself out of this circle.
So there should be a safe home for women who are beaten up, or even men who are beaten up.
I will set up laws.
Laws.
To punish men like that.
To punishment like that. Yes? Okay, she's ready.
As a school teacher,
yes,
I will focus on adolescent girls and boys.
Yeah, it was different in that everyone had an equal opportunity to participate and speak. Sometimes if you have someone in front of you saying these things, sometimes you don't give much thought to it. But in this particular one, there was a lot of reflecting, thinking through things, because each one of us had an opportunity to say something and also to play different roles as leaders.
They're kind of connected. So if you deal with the economic, maybe if you deal with the social, cultural, to make economic better and all of that. So that interconnected, it's like a chain. You break it and then it starts to follow.
Okay. You may be seeing this problem here that is presenting to you, but there are so many other factors that are connected to what you see.
The only difference between a poor woman and a woman who is economically empowered is the power to live. So a woman who is educated and a woman who is economically empowered will not stay in that situation.
Is it power or resources?
It's the resources that empower you.
Do resources automatically empower you? No. Do political factors affect men the same way they affect women? Yes.
Many times no, because political factors relate to the person who has power to make the decision. So in many of our societies, a lot of this power is still with men. So you could even be having a discussion about women issues, and it's only men who are in that discussion. So a lot of the outcomes tend to be negative for the women.
I need you to think how you could incorporate this framework, the social determinants and the gender framework, in health programs or interventions. I want them to be exposed to how you can actually teach in a different way that is more interesting, that gets the point, especially because when you want a mindset change, when you want people to think differently, when you need a paradigm shift, which is what we need mostly in the public health.
I think it's a good method. I'll use it not once, but many times. Yeah.
All the theoretical lectures need to be conducted like that, because then you're all engaged and you remember. It sticks. I'll not forget what we have been taught again.